Hello! It is video time. I've had nothing to tell you, but today I do. Fibrin. Remember fibrin? So we narrowed down what was wrong with me, which is long COVID. And we narrowed that down almost a month ago when I got the results back from Amen Clinic showing that I had really high levels of fibrin, which has to do with your vasculature, your blood flow. And she said, oh my God, it's bad. You got to go to the emergency room. It's really, really bad. It just validated what's happening to me. So then I go on and read about fibrin. And I find out there's a dude, Dr. Jordan Vaughn, in Alabama, who specializes in treatment of long COVID. And he's the only clinic in the entire country who specializes in treating people with long COVID. I find him on YouTube. He's in Alabama, and it's called MedHelp, and he does what's called triple therapy. And he's been doing this now for 3+ years with really good results. So I applied for his clinic. It's a remote program. The only way you can do it in Alabama is if you have to actually live there. You can't, visit and do it. So I applied for the remote program, and it says it can take up to 3 months for us to respond to you. And then who knows when you get the appointment. I got something yesterday. I applied 12 days ago. I got something yesterday. And it was like, congratulations, you've been approved for our program. I sent everything I had, really. I sent EKG of my heart. I sent my blood work, I don't know, whatever I thought was interesting. And I'd been approved. And then they said, he has an appointment tomorrow morning at 10:30. Do you want it? Is that a real dog? Oh, he's so sweet. Looks like a statue. We have so many dogs in this neighborhood. When I get well, I'm getting a dog and cats. Dog and cats. And so I met with Dr. Jordan Vaughn this morning. It was like, I don't know, it was like meeting a superstar, And I met him for 45 minutes. He got right down to business. Boy, there's a lot of activity this time of day, which I love. And he said, let me ask you a question. He said, when you were growing up or whatever, before you got ill, so the first 48 years, did you have heavy legs? And I said, no, I didn't. But I'll tell you what I did have. I said my love language with my boyfriends would be, like if we were laying on the couch, I would want them to squeeze my ankles. Squeeze my ankles. I would just want somebody to squeeze my ankles all day. It felt so good. I'm like, that's weird. And then I said, and he's like, no. And then I told him, and then he talked about how people can have, that their legs, they can fall asleep more often. And I was like, yeah, my legs fall asleep all the time. They used to fall asleep all the time. But you just think that's normal. So then I told him, it continued with these little hints of clues, which I've given 60 doctors and they don't give a shit. Oh, God. Finally somebody does. Well, they can make sense of it, you know what I mean? But to me, this is loud and clear. This was a vasculature problem. So then I told him when I got off the European cruise, right before this whole thing happened, I said my whole body swelled up. And then I said my blood vessel in my calf started to hurt just as I was sitting down. I've never complained of a blood vessel that hurts. I wouldn't have even known what that felt like. And then 6 weeks later, I'm trying to walk. And in my inner thigh, I'm like, oh my God. It was so bad. It was dragging my leg. It was one of the worst pains I've ever had. I think that's my blood vessel. Everything gets downplayed. I'm gaslighted. No. It's so weird how people can just say no. I mean, they can say anything they want, but why? Why would they say that? It's like saying, I'm really hungry, and they're like, no, you're not. What? So that's what the medical community and, I don't know, everybody has been doing to me. So fast forward to, he's like, okay, And I'm skipping out on his presentation, which was amazing. I got most of it recorded. And he's just really smart. He's a freaking genius. And then he says, oh my God, it was amazing. It was amazing. He like literally was telling me all kinds of things about me. You know, like people that mediums, and they're like, did your brother, when he died, was he holding on to a blue heart that then he gave to, and then you're like, oh my God, and you have a blue heart in your hand. This is from my blood brother, and you're like, there's no way that they would have known, these mediums would have known that. That's what it was like. Nothing before this has ever felt like nobody, like I really am understood at all. At all. And he was like, yep, that's that, this is very common. And I'm like, oh my God, now. I mean, my friend Jess, when I went to Amen Clinic, she's like, you can relax, they've got it from here. And I was like, can I? And then I couldn't. This time I'm like, oh my God, I can relax from here. So he said with long COVID, there's two types of people that get long COVID. And so, by the way, my predisposition was venous insufficiency. Venous insufficiency, meaning the veins in my, like the blood is pooling in my lower extremities and my gut and my legs, and it's just not cycling back to my heart the way it's supposed to. And the heart is what brings the oxygen to your brain. There we go, my friends. That's my biggest problem. Yes, I have clotting everywhere. Yes, I asked him, okay, my fibrin levels are 7,990. Literally sent me to the emergency room. My doctor said to go, Dr. Jackie. And so I said, is that the worst you've seen? Because my symptoms are so bad. And he said, it's not the worst I've seen. It's really bad, but it's not the worst I've seen. So what that said to me is, let me get to the point I was going to tell you. There's two different classes of people with what I have, right? Long COVID. One, they kind of had pre-existing symptoms. They were older. They had more of a clotting thing. They probably had more heart disease and diabetes, things like that. And they had cardiometabolic abnormality. I didn't have any of that, you guys. I was active, and he talks about how people were active and they were moving. They do better with moving. It turns out people like me do better with moving because we've got venous insufficiency. We're just geniuses that way. It's just like we just knew we felt better when we moved. Okay? So he went on to say, you're the other type. You've got the venous insufficiency type with the clotting, the microclotting, by the way. It's not like you escaped that part. And that's it. I don't want this video to have to go on YouTube. I'm going to cut this short now, and I have so much more to tell you, but he's going to send me the whole treatment program. I am so unbelievably excited about having a doctor who gets me, and he's like, you might even start feeling better when we do blah, 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 blah. I want you on medicines right away, and oh my God. I will update you in the stories with all the stuff I'm like going to buy and get and all of it. Eee!